Okay, so I've been having this controller for quite a while now. This is a Dreamcast controller from retrofighters. And what this attempts to do is that it's supposed to modernize some of the Dreamcast or retro controllers. So they made one for Nintendo 64, which I actually thought was pretty good. And they actually made one for the Dreamcast, which is at the price of $50. You guys can get on their website. They do come in different colors too, by the way, besides white. Now, in the original bottom, there would have been a port right here. That was where the controller port was going to be. But instead, it's right here, which is actually much better than that lame garbage being right there and being weird. They did have like a little thing in the back, but it's still weird to use. But what this does show is that it has a turbo button. They got this D-pad, a nice joystick. There's also buttons that are much closer to each other too, in case you guys play like first-person games like Rainbow Six and like Unreal Tournament and Quake 3, which are pretty good games on the Dreamcast. Believe it or not, they actually have like their own online service, like a fan revival, and some memory slots, which always comes with two of them. And you can either put your VMUs in there, or the Rumble Pack, which I actually have right here. You don't need any batteries for it. You just put it in the back of it. That's it. You have to put it in the back because it's maybe the biggest thing ever. Otherwise, it's not gonna fit another memory thing in there. But anyways, there's also this thing called a Mega Memory Card from Performance. Now, here's what it is, right? So you see this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you probably would have assumed like, I don't know, it's just for whatever player, but it's not. What this is, it switches any memory card you have on here. In this little device, you switch from 2, it's a new memory card. 3 and 4, everything else. So it's like if you run out of space on this thing, you practically have 4 memory cards. I kid you not. They also made one for Nintendo 64, which does the same thing, which is actually pretty nice. Now, let's go over some pros and cons of this controller. So, triggers are pretty good, and the bumpers are pretty good too, which the bumpers were just made for fighting games. Listen, they're both the same buttons, but they made this and the D-pad practically for fighting games, which is nice. I do like how this is centrally close to each other, so I don't have to keep struggling when it comes to first-person shooting games, because the buttons in the original Dreamcast controller were like far away from each other, and there was no way. Like, this was for you guys to look, and this was for you guys to move. Yeah, that was how we did first-person shooting back in the Dreamcast days, people. But yeah, I do like this controller. It feels great. The joystick's nice. Sometimes where is it? This part will wear off a little bit, but it's not too much. But yeah, nice controller. Got the D-pad here, which I'm not a fan of the D-pad. Like, it's a little weird to me compared to the original one. But yeah, believe it or not, there were some games that requires you to use the D-pad. Why? I don't know. Even though we have this joystick right here, which we can just use, but we gotta use this sometimes. One of them was like a wrestling game, one was a Frogger, and this is also was used for Alone in the Dark, even though we have this. But this was used for a flashlight. But yeah, that's my negative con. It's like that. But this right here. But here's another issue I had. I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and I was doing all these tricks, and then this random B button, for whatever reason, this B button got stuck. Yeah, I can't do it now, because I was like going, I think it was like, depends how hard I push this thing, Like, that's how crazy it is. I can't get it to do it, but, I had that issue like 2 or 3 times. I haven't had an issue with the B button since. I mean, it works. I got back to doing whatever. I didn't have to like move the controller with the screws up there or whatever. But yeah, this is $50 on Retro Fighters. You guys can get it. And back then for FEMUs like this. Okay, it's one-handed. I can't. You know what? Hold on. This was how you would play a game if you were to like not use a TV. Like there were some like mini games in this thing, but the problem is you have to like change the battery of this thing. You have to take it off, place in a new battery, and that's it. It's not like one of those double-A or two-way ones. It's actually, oh, and it says the 2 here, right here. So it says, let me focus on that. CR2032 batteries. That's exactly what you guys need. It's a CR2032 batteries. And yes, they actually still make these, believe it or not. I just saw in the store, like, what was it, a day or 2 ago now? But yeah. This is a regular VMU they would use to play some Dreamcast games. Some games are compatible with, like, using the D-pad and this. But this was sort of similar of how... I want to say the graphics on this thing are similar to a Tiger, but it's not exactly like Tiger, but I'm just giving you guys the idea of the whole thing. But yeah, that's the Dreamcast controller from Retro Fighters. It's actually a pretty good controller, and I pretty much do enjoy using it. Look at this. That's how big these triggers are. I kid you not. That is a good improvement, because I used the triggers on the original, and it's like it goes right through my finger. Like, I don't know how, but look, that was a controller. Like, it was huge. Like, it was a huge controller. It looks great. The triggers just were. I mean, it didn't like. I didn't have issues pushing them. It's just I felt uncomfortable while using it. But yeah, if you guys want to get the controller for your Dreamcast or whatever, you guys can. But yeah, there's a turbo button. You just hold the turbo button, click the button, and if you guys don't like it, press the clear button. You guys should be fine. But yeah, there is a bundle for 4 of these for like $150 maybe. But yeah, you guys get it in the shop. There's also Dreamcast games, Nintendo 64 games on there, Sega Genesis games, regular Nintendo games on the shop, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's all. I'm gonna go looking at the thing. Like, it does feel pretty comfortable with this controller, and I highly recommend if you guys want to get it. See you guys next time.